You only need to control 5 very specific minutes to change your day. If you've spent years forcing a punishing routine, willpower alone fails. The cycle is predictable. You plan a grand overhaul at midnight, cold showers, meditation, and gym sessions starting at 4:45 a.m. But when dawn arrives, the bed is warm and the ambition is gone. You snooze the alarm, promise yourself you'll start tomorrow, and fall back into the same scrolling loop you ran yesterday. This chronic failure is a structural, biological error in how the brain perceives overnight transformation. Your brain is a survival machine designed to prefer the safety of familiar loops over the shock of sudden, massive change. When you force a dramatic morning shift, your brain activates a threat response. It treats this sudden spike as a danger. To maintain stability, your neurology resets to comfortable past habits, a biological shutdown triggered by your own ambition. Trying to conquer the entire morning at once is effectively triggering your own biological defenses. To get past these barriers, you need a weapon small enough to slip through undetected. In Japan, this logic is known as Kaizen, the practice of continuous, microscopic refinement. It focuses on the power of the 1% gain, executed right now. This was the engine of Japanese manufacturing after the Second World War. Companies like Toyota avoided the risk of massive singular leaps, choosing instead to implement thousands of refinements, so small they were barely noticeable to the eye. Compounded over decades, these tiny adjustments built global empires. Kaizen functions as a philosophy of constant becoming. It views the individual not as a broken machine requiring an immediate fix, but as a system that evolves through small, protected wins. Consider Hiroshi, a factory worker in 1970s Nagoya. Before the world could demand anything of him, Hiroshi woke early to protect a specific 10-minute window of silence. He didn't run miles or meditate for an hour. He simply spent 10 minutes making and drinking a cup of tea. He sat with himself, following the same deliberate steps every single morning. This stillness allowed patients to flow into his high-pressure work shifts. Because he owned the first 10 minutes, the chaos of the remaining 8 hours felt manageable. Anchoring the morning with a micro-ritual protects you from the exhaustion that comes with over-optimizing for output. This is the foundation for your own protocol. Step 1 is claiming the first 5 minutes of your day before you touch a phone. The specific activity is secondary. The power lies in the conscious decision to exist for yourself before you allow the world's noise to rush in. Step 2 utilizes the Japanese concept of shu-ha-ri, specifically setting the form to remove friction. You set up your tools the night before: the kettle on the counter, the journal on the nightstand, the shoes by the door. This eliminates the decision fatigue that usually kills morning momentum. Step 3 is the one-word intention. Ask yourself for a single word that describes how you will move through the day. Focused, present, patient. This replaces the stress of a to-do list with a quiet mental current. Step 4 is micro-gratitude. Acknowledge one specific, undeniable thing you are glad exists: your coffee, the temperature of the room, the silence. This brief recognition sets the emotional tone for the hours ahead. Executing these 4 steps combined takes less time than scrolling through a single social media feed. This system is designed to bypass your brain's resistance. By keeping the requirements remarkably small, you make daily execution the path of least resistance. Many of us grew up believing that growth requires misery, and that discipline is measured by how much we struggle. Lasting habits are built on identity. They are the result of the compounding story you tell yourself about who you are. Every morning you complete these 5 minutes, you cast a vote for a new identity. You provide your brain with evidence that you are someone who shows up for yourself and begins with intention. These microscopic wins accumulate, much like the industrial refinements at Toyota. By removing the friction of starting, you shift your baseline over time. After months of these 5-minute anchors, you will find that your reactions to stress and your ability to focus have evolved into a reality that would have seemed impossible when you were still hitting snooze. At dawn, you face a choice. You can wake up to the story of overwhelm, or you can choose the story of intention. Start with 5 minutes tomorrow morning. Walk through that small gate and observe who you become on the other side.